Hey, what's up? This is Benji Bruce here with SpeakingLifestyle.com, and in this video we're going to talk about what are you doing if you're procrastinating in your speaking business all the time. I mean, you just can't get gigs simply because you know you're on Facebook, you know you're checking your emails all the time, you know you're doing everything except the things to actually get booked. So what do you have to do if you're just procrastinating so much to where you just can't seem to get yourself to do the work? And here's the thing. You know what you should be doing. You know the work you should be doing. You know, okay, I should be contacting meeting planners. I should be doing business stuff. I should be doing this, but you can't seem to get yourself to do it. Why is it, and how do you actually fix this whole thing? And that stuff happened to me all the time. So here's what you do. Basically, it has to be more real to you. So what do I mean by more real? What I mean is you have to essentially turn everything into numbers. And what I mean by that is you essentially say, okay, if I want to do 52 paid speaking gigs throughout the entire year, that turns out to be one per week. And I said 52 because it's just easy. So one per week, meaning what do you have to do to get one paid gig per week? So you know 52, you know one per week. And okay, how many people do you have to contact every single day to make sure you get at least one per week? Now, maybe you think, okay, maybe it's 20 people per day. So maybe that's what you think at first, and you're contacting 20 people per day, but then the 1 week goes by and you don't get a gig. So now you say, okay, maybe I'll do 50, or maybe I'll do 100 a day. So eventually you're gonna kind of just change it, and you're gonna say, okay, maybe it wasn't 20, maybe it wasn't 50, okay, it's 100. Once you know, think about this, once you know that number, when you know, like absolutely know that by contacting 100 people that you're gonna get booked for a speaking gig, well now think about how that changes you. The reason why I do everything in numbers is simply because of certainty. When you are absolutely certain that after 100 people, you're gonna get booked, when you're absolutely certain, think about how that changes how you act. You know, okay, if I contact 100 people, I'm gonna get this paid gig. So you have to break everything down into numbers because it creates that certainty inside your head. It just completely changes everything you do. That's how I got past the procrastination type thing. And let's say that you're building your expert status as a speaker, you're doing blogs and all this stuff. Well, you have to break that down into numbers as well. So let's say you want $100,000 by within 3 months or so. You break that down into numbers. So you have a product and it's a $2,000 product. So you know that you have to sell 50 of those within the 3 months. And so how many per day, how many per week? Break that down into numbers. And then you say, okay, how many pieces of content do I have to put out every single day? Okay, one per day. So there's 30 days in this month. Okay, 30 pieces of content. Now at this moment, you can say, okay, 30 pieces of content for the whole month, so I can just create all 30 pieces in 2 days, and bam, I've got one per month. Once you break things down into numbers, then you're very clear on what you have to do, and you procrastinate less. So that's what you want to do if you're procrastinating in your speaking business. You're just not getting gigs because you're just on Facebook. You're doing everything except the things you know you should be doing. The reason is because you're not absolutely certain on what to do and where it's going to lead. So you have to essentially break everything down into numbers. Know that, okay, if you want 52 gigs a year, you have to get one per week. Now, which actions do you have to take? Okay, you gotta contact 100 people every single day. And then you have to make sure you get that feedback. So if you know that you're contacting 100 people a day and people still aren't really responding to you, you have to get the feedback and you have to shift what you're doing so it essentially matches up with the outcome you want to have. So that's what you do if you're procrastinating all the time in your speaking business. This is Benji Bruce with Speaking Lifestyle. Have a nice day.